So currently, the tractor is in this condition. So you can see it's real crap. And I'll flip the camera around and show. Swapped the tires, those trailer tires that I had cut the tires actually off the wheels so that they'd fit. I replaced them with these, which I said I got for 25 bucks for the pair. That one doesn't hold air. It does leak down, but I'm gonna air it up and I'm gonna put a jack under the front because these tires do not hold air as well. But the reason why I'm making this video in between is I want to build something off the back of this before I paint it so that I can weld back here, potentially drill more holes, but I would like to use, this is for a 3-point hitch system. These tractors, it's a garden tractor, but if you look, I mean, that's like 3/16 or 1/4 inch plate steel. The whole thing is built out of this, not sheet metal. Well, these had hitch systems for plows, graders, you name it, all kinds of cultivator stuff and homestead type equipment off the back. So I'd like to just use those factory holes for what I'm about to do. But without further ado, I am going to make a plate for that and then kind of explain it a little more. So here's the concept that I'm doing. Take this plate will bolt here and this is angled, so I'm gonna have to get that proper measurement, but then this will be cut and shortened so that there's not a lot of weight hanging off the back, and it will be welded, here comes my dog, and it will be welded there. So then not only could I put a hitch in there to pull my little trailer around, but I built this. And I built this out of just some square stock. You can see it's not ultra heavy duty, but it's only 2,000 pounds. And I did weld a pipe, 1/2 inch plumbing pipe down in there so that it will be a little stronger. But so then I can slide this winch in there and have a winch off the back of this. But if you can picture this thing shrunk down, you can still have a trailer mount in there. So I can still run the little trailer, and this will obviously be shortened, like I said. And that'll look good, but we're gonna cut a piece of steel, weld it across here on the top with 2 bolts for this. All right, it's completely dark out here, but this is like outside my shop where I store things. That's a 67 Ford Fairlane GT 4-speed car. Anyway, we're gonna take this unit and unbolt it. You can see it bolts down here with 2 bolts. We're gonna bolt that to it, and then I'll build places for this brace. But all right, well, it's really hard to see out here, so we're gonna get back to the shop. So I should have double checked everything, but I just drilled 4 holes, all at the same exact measurements, and the bottom is narrower, so you can see that actually has to come in right there. But I also need bolts. This bolt here is perfect length. It's a 1/2 inch in diameter bolt. It takes 4 of them. And this is just a mock-up one, but let's see if I can stick that in there. So one thing is that I'm gonna have to look at is so that crane actually leans back. So the seat here, I don't want it to hit my head if my head's right here. And I don't own a seat yet. So that is going to be problematic. And it's torn apart, so I can't really tell where I'd like to sit. So I'm gonna look at pictures online and then build this one off of what I think length. Because if you look, I could cut it so that it's real stubby. So it's the bottom could just be that part. So I mean, it would end like right here. You know, it could have come off that and then keep it all tight. But that would put the crane closer to my head. So, but we don't want too much length because we're gonna weld a gusset in too, so it'll all really be solid. but the further back it goes, the more leverage it'll have, and we'll have to have front end weights, and it could do a kind of an extra effect of weight on the wheels or bearings. So a lot to really think of, but I need bolts, and it's getting late. It's almost like 7 o'clock right now, so they only go in. It's the next day. I got the holes fixed, and I took this assembly off. I held it up just looking at it, and I am not going to be able to retain the angle that it originally had. So you can see that plate is angled already, and it's still angled back. Naturally, this thing is bent way back, but looking at pictures of these with seats on, it would be like inside my body. So what I'm gonna have to do is keep it upright a little bit more than factory, which will be fine. I mean, that's all the weight is going to be on the rear axle of this, so you're not going to want to lift up the rear end of a truck or something with it. But I'm going to have to cant the mount. Jeez, I just knocked the pump over. Yeah, and this assembly bolts to it. But I think I'm going to figure out what length I want that and start with welding it in place. Well, this tire already lost air. I just aired it up about 10 minutes ago, but so we're gonna have to account for that with any side-to-side measurements. So I decided to make it the full length. I cut just enough off to angle it to make it proper, and my thought is I'm going to get it as high as I can. That's about the height of a truck, roughly, car truck. And the crane, so normally the base of that is about, it probably would have been like right here, real low. So this is going to be extra high, which is great because I'll be able to back engines up and just load them into truck beds easy. So I think I'm going to, and my measurements are off. This was 55 degrees, this plate, so I cut that at 55 degrees. But you can see I'm a couple degrees off, 1 or 2. So you can see that it's angled down. And if anything, we need a couple degrees up because the front tires, they're crap. So I think it's sitting slightly lower. So I'm gonna weld this top lip here and then just angle this up and then just weld the crap out of it and then weld a gusset in on the bottom underneath this so it'll have support. So I'm gonna grind this, I say so a lot. I'm gonna grind this plate here, and then I'll have clean metal to weld to. This is my measurement stick. I've decided that this stick is the farthest back I want it because where my head will be. I don't want to crack my skull on that. So turns out I did need it that far, which, it doesn't look that bad actually. At first I was thinking, that's crazy. But worst case is it's all garbage and I have to redo it all. But I'm gonna press on. So this is about as best as I can get it. It's actually pretty good. And I don't have the right bolts for this. I just got back from the hardware store for those bolts, but I didn't know that I'd need shorter bolts for this. Didn't think about it. But I'm about to weld this plate down here in place permanently because I just sat on the tractor and this is really good. So I like where that's at. So I'm gonna melt it in place. For the wedge to go underneath there, I used this piece that I cut off the tail here, and I just trimmed it to fit. So now it fits perfect. right in there. I'm gonna hammer it in a little further, but that's it. I just cut this. This was steel left over from the 2-stroke V8 over there, those 2 V8s, when I built the centering mechanism to build a transmission. Transmission mount. Yep, I have to pause. So this was the leftover steel from that, and this was just some angle iron I had. But if you look at this brace, these are supports for this. So I wanted this whole thing to be able to come off. So I'm just gonna weld these right here. I just cut them and everything. So they'll weld there, and that'll be a nice brace, and it should fit in between the fenders. So there's a fender that bolts there. But now that I welded those and cut these, I'm gonna finish welding these up, tack weld it all together, and keep rolling. There it is, mounted. I did have the winch on it. It's sitting in that in 289 right there, but I took it out. And what I'm gonna do now is disconnect it all, remove it, and fully weld this thing and add gussets under here. Big old piece of triangle 1/4-inch plate to there. That'll really strengthen it up, but I have to leave enough room for that trailer to drop into this hitch. So, but yep, it's pretty sweet. It's really gonna help getting work done. I'm gonna probably honestly have to put weights on the front so that I don't just do wheelies everywhere I go. But there it is. Well, I took it off. Forgot to record it, but I put this piece of, oh God, I'm dropping it. This piece of steel here left over. I'm just gonna hold it up like I was. I can't do it one-handed though. But I'm gonna put it right here and then just run a Sharpie down it and then cut that triangular wedge out and then weld it right up in there. And I had pre-grinded this because I knew I was gonna weld it. So I'm gonna do that real quick. Mark it, cut it, prepare to weld. Did quite a bit of welding, letting it cool. This is I've done about 3 cycles, weld, let it sit. It's pretty hot, man, you cannot hold it. So gonna let it sit some more, but you can see using flux core, that's why it looks like crap. But yeah, looking good though. These are welded pretty solid. This mount's pretty solid. It's pretty simplistic when you actually look at it, but I just love seeing something like this. Was just junk that I had laying around, except this was bought brand new, this piece from Harbor Freight. But this was just junk, and now it's a good unit. When it's painted and it's cold, not burning me, I'll be able to show you guys a little more. But it's just awesome that I built this, and it'll bolt up to any Sears tractor. You can just bolt this right on, and I mean, just alone you could have a hitch to pull your little trailer around or something. But then you could use that Harbor Freight cherry picker, bolt that baby on, and that's a Harbor Freight 2,000-pound ATV winch. So I can show you that while I let this cool. It is a 2,000-pound ATV winch that I built this. This is a square tubing that I had left over. Wait, I think I already showed this. I can't tell. This has been like a week that I've done this over, like built this thing over a week. Or even more than that, because I started taking it apart like a month ago. There's a tank engine there, buried in crap. I just wire wheeled it, cleaned it all up. I'm gonna blow it off with the air compressor and then paint it black. It's still hot. There it is. It's pretty awesome. So I'm gonna go paint it. There it is, painted, gusseted, right there. I've only got the 2 bolts in just for mock-up. Thing looks sweet. And aside from that, I can use this to pull trailers and use the winch, maybe pull some cars like that Datsun that's stuck right there. But, yep, it's pretty awesome. Next step is full restoration of the tractor, aggressive rear tires, and brand new front wheels and tires. Yeah! Here is the finished crane project. So you can see I got the tractor painted, put back together. I've got all new wheels coming Sunday, or front wheels, the wheel and the tire, so real nice, that'll be good. I got these ones off of Marketplace, but one doesn't hold air. And the steering wheel I had to cut off, so I gotta order a new one. But here's the crane. So I did do another reinforcement. This here I welded, because I built a very similar thing like this, but it was with this same steel up like here, so it slid into the reese hitch of my truck. And it destroyed it when I tried to lift an engine. So the first place that gave was this area here on the test one on my truck. It bent these in, just pulled them, just destroyed it. So I put 3/16 steel. I think that is 4 inches was the actual plates. I don't know, I can't remember if I cut any off, but it is pretty hefty. It doesn't have the bolts I just bought. I got them from Lowe's or Tractor Supply yesterday, so I just got test bolts in it that are not the right length or thickness. Oh, here you can see the whole thing. Looks pretty sweet. And I added a bolt in each section down here like that. And here's the 2,000-pound ATV winch that slides into the receiver. And I still have this down here for my garden trailer. So it's pretty nice. I won't be able to carry a whole lot. And I need to get a plow for the front. I want to get this, it's called like a dozer blade. It's like a plow, but it's extremely heavy duty. And that'll add a lot of weight off the front. Plus, I need it for all kinds of stuff. You can see dirt. I'm always moving dirt and gravel. So that'll help with some weight. And I'm gonna put a Predator 420cc in it. So that'll also weigh a little bit, but way less than the original cast iron engine. There it is. In all its glory. Thanks for watching this build on the crane. And soon you'll see the video drop of the tractor restoration, and then a third video of the series when I get the engine and actually drive it. But thanks for watching. Stay tuned.